and it's going to be green light racing here at Monza. Here goes Noah. We're going to try and go wheel to wheel with the leader. Vic, once again, back on the top step. We did say take it easy. Oh my goodness. Sinead's going to go for it here into 14, 15. Side by side, is it going to be Mercedes or is it going to be a BMW?
Hello everyone, we are back once again. Second half of the season is starting today. I hope you are all very excited. I know I am looking forward to getting back to this. And what better place to start racing on again than the green hell itself, the Nordschleife. It is an absolutely legendary circuit and a massive challenge for the drivers today. Remember, if you have not checked out the website yet, go on over to www.phoenixsimsport.co.uk. Check out our wonderful shop, and other details will also be coming soon. Also, if you're in the mood for some new sim gear, come on, it's January, and you got to look up some extra deals, get yourself some new gear. Check out Asetek Sim Sports and use our discount code Phoenix Sim Sport for a 5% discount on any products they do have in their store. I personally can vouch for how good they are. Their pedal sets are absolutely wonderful. I have the Asetek Fortes myself, and I highly recommend them. So, with that done and dusted, we will get underway here. There we go. I'll get you some desktop audio. Hopefully everything looks and sounds wonderfully balanced. And currently on board with Zed McCann, one of the drivers at the top of their game here this season. So we can expect the Aston Martin to be up towards the top there today. But who is going to take pole, and can anyone stop Mr. Ferlinski from grabbing his 6th straight win in a row this season? It would be a perfect result so far in this season. Looks like we're getting a little bit of rain. This is going to be interesting. So it's raining at the start of this session. It's going to increase and then decrease again after 30 minutes now. The thing is, that is probably not going to give us dry conditions at any point during this session. Let's see who's in the front at the moment. It's car number 12. So let's go to broadcast, go to car number 12. Volder then in the Lamborghini is going to lead us around for this first lap. This is going to be quite interesting as well, because because Nordschleife itself is an 8-minute lap time, somewhere in and around those kind of 8 minutes, the drivers only really will be able to get in 2, maybe 3 laps if they are hitting the line at the right time. So let's see how we get on here today. Voller just kicking off. And the thing is, we won't even get any sector times for a very long time, so it's going to be difficult to really gauge how a lap time is really coming together here. As Voller decides to abandon that lap then. I wonder, did car number 12 go out on dry tires and realized it got too wet too quickly? So in that case, we are going to have to go on board with Mr. Ferlinski himself. 16:55 left to go in this session. And the first valid first valid lap time will be able to be set by Ferlinski. I don't think anyone else is ahead of him. Nope, he is currently leading the pack. No, he's not. He is actually just starting. So actually, who is going to come across the line? might actually be car number 96. So, no, car number 96 is also going around to start. Car number 724 going around to start. So I wonder, did a lot of drivers try to leave the pits on dry tires and it's just got too wet far too quick? 777 is the next possible one we could see. Yeah, so 777 then is going to be the first driver to actually get up on to the Nordschleife and go for a hot lap here. So the Audi driver is going to give us an idea of what kind of lap times are possible to set around here. Usually, the fast guys get in the 8-minute, approximately 15 kind of range. Some can go quicker, but that's the kind of range we'd be looking for a dry pole lap. But things are rather wet out there at the minute. Rain's going to be reducing over the next 10 minutes as well. Track temperature is 29 degrees. Air temperature is 23 degrees. No wind, so the track might take a little bit of time to dry up because it's not sunny. It looks like it's just going to go cloudy, so we might not see the track drying up at any point, but at the same time it may reduce in how wet it is, which would let the drivers go that little bit quicker. Let's go on board with Ferlinski, who has now started his lap. Now there is a car ahead. Hopefully that doesn't block him too much. Ferlinski would be the one that we would be expecting to get pole here today. That's a Ferrari of, I think that may be Ruiz. It is. So, Felix Ruiz, just ahead of Chenet at the moment. Absolutely blasting his way all the way down to the hairpin here. Little dab of the brakes as you come up over the rise there. That's a difficult corner to get right, especially in these tricky conditions, because the car goes light, and as it does that, the tires will lose a little bit of grip. It's very easy just to understeer wide, or even worse, get the car to oversteer. Now, this is going to be tricky for Linsky. Is going to need to make a pass here on a quali lap, and he does nice and clean, so that's not too bad. He gets through okay and continues on his merry way. He's got a good bit of clean air in front of him now as well. Let's take a look again once again at the map. 777 still well through this lap. Currently sitting about to give us a sector 1 time. It hasn't popped up. Ooh, we might have an issue, unfortunately, with the timing screen at the moment. But we will give you times as early as we possibly can. Car control from Mr. Ferlinski, just absolutely beautiful. Let's take a look at how his teammate Webby is doing. So Webby is just starting off a lap. Webby is going to really struggle here to be able to get a lap time in. It's going to be basically one-shot quali. Mr. Konos, how are you doing, my friend? Yeah, so it will probably end up around about 7 laps. So 3-4 laps takes you to about the halfway point, and then 6-7 laps will be around about the finish. It'll depend when the leader crosses the line. which is so strange to think about. And really, the drivers are going to have to think very carefully about when they cross the line. Do they pit or not? Because if the weather says that it's going to change within the next 10 minutes, you could very well be on the wrong side of the circuit when the change comes. So it's going to be extremely tricky to be able to decide from a strategic point of view when you actually box. Mr. Ferlinski coming down into the legendary carousel. Sounds spicy. It is going to be. So the conditions here are a little bit more changeable than we saw this morning. This morning we saw just completely clear skies for the vast majority of the session. A little bit of cloud towards the end of the race, and then as the slowest guy on track was crossing the line, it did start to race. Yes, we had a race. It did start to rain. So it was threatening throughout the entire session, but we didn't actually see very much effects of it. So 10 minutes left to go in this session. Let's just take a look at the map once again. So Lotscombe is going to be the first still to come across the line, assuming it is valid. This is going to be the tricky thing. If you invalidate your lap time, it takes you, several minutes to be able to get back around to the line again to start another lap. Oh, GOVEE. Excuse me. So it's going to be extremely tricky here. If you haven't started your lap time already, then it's going to be extremely difficult. As you can see, Crossland, Fuller, and Spinner, 3 of them all still in the pits at the moment. Are they thinking they want to try to cross the line towards the end of the session, I wonder, in order to be able to try to get some dry conditions? Hello, Wi-Fi, please. Apologies, everyone. Hopefully, stream is all working okay still. On stream, you can just, Mr. Konos, if you could help me by just confirming, is everything still okay on stream? I paused on my phone there for a moment, so I'm not sure what happened. As Mr. Lotscombe does come across the line, it's a 9:18.318. So at the moment, then the Audi is on pole, but we don't really have much to compare that against at the moment. Let's go on board then with Ferlinski, who is going to be coming through next, is coming up to the start-finish line. We're looking at the pits right now. You should now be back on to Mr. Chenet. And there we go. So Chenet with an 8-minute 40.5. What a lap time by the current championship leader here in pretty tricky conditions. So very good job there. Now we should start to see the lap times all be punched in. Number 30 is going to come across the line next to is Ruiz. But it is not a valid lap time, so it doesn't get posted to the board. Number 17 going to come across next to is McCann. So let's go on board with McCann. Zooming up to the line. McCann with an 8:51.697. Currently 11.1 seconds off the leader at the moment. Remember, the gaps here are going to sound extremely huge, but in the grand scheme of things, a couple of seconds difference is not a huge difference in pace. Ivanov then pops it in P2 with a 49.877. That is 9.3 off the lead. And car number 3 then is going to be coming across the line next. Jan and McCann both already here improving by 1 second. So the wet weather should be stopping within the next 10 minutes, but we've only got 5:27 left to go in this session, so there's not an awful lot of time to get out of the pits and still do a lap. Crossland and Spinner still in the pits at the moment with no time on the board. Is this a case of either, oh well, there may be, is that quali bans? That is a good point. Maybe quali bans. Never mind me. I think I need to write a little note next time. These people are banned from qualifying, so that I actually remember. So, McCann then, 3.8 seconds up on his lap time. Zach doing an absolutely awesome job here. The number 17, really trying to get the most out of this lap. At the moment, he'll be battling Jan for P1. Jan is also improving by 1.8 seconds right now. Sinead coming back out around, so we may very well see another lap from the current championship leader. Voller then pops it in P2, so Voller with the 46.007. Very good sector 3. Voller is only half a second off Ferlinsky in sector 3. He's losing a lot of time in sector 1, so if car number 12 can find a little pace there in that first sector, he may very well be able to get a little bit closer to the number 70. Oh, beautiful. That's what we like to see. We like to see a little bit of helicam every now and again. Look how thin that strip of tarmac is, and how difficult it is for the drivers to be able to keep it on that thin slip of tarmac for, what, 20 kilometers? You know, and you have to try and memorize every single braking zone for every single corner and every single sequence of corners that is coming up, and it's just such a difficult circuit to get your head around. This is why we like it. It's such an amazing challenge for all of these drivers. Oh, McCann was 5 seconds up on their lap time there, but unfortunately tapping the wall, and that does result in an invalidation. So we are about to go 2 minutes before the end of the session, and the track is going to start drying up. It is damp at the moment. Someone is leaving the pits. I think that was Voller. It was Voller. Are they going to be able to get around in time to cross the line? That's going to be the question. But for now, the big interest is here on Ivanov. Mr. Tuchush, you should still be able to join. You've got 1 minute left in qualifying. Yep. So you won't get a quali lap in, but you'll be able to get onto the grid at least. But you will have to join rather quickly. Ooh, Jan, unfortunately, losing the rear there into that corner. I wonder, did he just downshift once too many times? I think I heard an extra downshift in there, which may very well have upset the rear of the car. In these cars, if you downshift too quickly, it's like pulling the handbrake on your road car, and it results in a rather nasty spin. So on that high-speed corner, unfortunately, Jan, who was gaining a massive amount of time on that lap, unfortunately not able to improve. Let's take a look at who's coming around where on the map. So 20 seconds left to go, and it looks like Voller might be able to get past the line in time, and does start a new lap. Okay. Okay, so Voller has decided that is the end of his session. Let's see who else we've got out there. Car number 30 is going to be the next to come across the line. Currently a valid lap, but still has the straight to do and is at an 8:14, so it's probably going to be around about a 9-minute lap time. Can they slot it in ahead of Lotscombe? The thing is, by just putting in a valid lap time, a lot of these guys will be able to get a really good spot on the grid, regardless of what time they post across the start-finish line. So as long as Ruiz can keep this valid, he may very well be able to get up to at least P7. No worries to chase. At least you're able to make the start of the race. It's going to be tricky, though, because conditions out there are a little bit mad. And Ruiz might actually be able to get himself up into P6. He does! So Ruiz then, with a 9-minute 10.5, comes home in P6. And so we are now just waiting for the last car. I don't think the others are going to be able to make it in time. Lotscombe might be able to, but this is a very long lap, so they've probably made a mistake somewhere. So it's not going to improve their quali position at all. P15 to podium. Yeah. Hey, you know, to choose, stranger things have happened at Nordschleife. And across the line we go. And Lotscombe does improve, actually. It's an 8-minute 59.635. Must have just been an issue there on the timing screen. That pushes Ruiz down to P7. So that is the end of the session. So Ferlinski then in the pound seats in this race. He's a good 5.5 seconds ahead of his competitor. and his main challengers really aren't around at the minute. Kevin Riviera not here today. So barring any major upset, I hope not to do any commentator curse, but barring any major upset here today, Sinead could be in to get that incredible 6th win in a row. And what a way to do it at the actual Nordschleife as well. Absolutely legendary stuff. So we're just, I think, awaiting the server to change over. Let's just take a look. So a couple of drivers still out there on circuit at the moment. Yeah, just use some fuel to choose. I would put some fuel in the car. Generally, these cars go an awful lot faster when they have fuel in the tank, just so you know. So this morning I put 75 in, then 40, and that gave me plenty. So, something like, I think, 115, something like that. Seemed to work okay. So drivers now just preparing their cars for the start of the race. We do have a mandatory 5-minute break just before the start of the race. Gives the drivers that little bit of time to make any kind of setup tweaks that they deem necessary before we kick off. It looks like it's starting dry here. Let me just move over to this screen. It is starting dry, and in fact, it is going to stay dry for the next half hour. So it's looking like the drivers are going to be out there in the best possible conditions for the start of this race. Is it going to get tricky towards the end of the session? That's what we don't know yet. Got the haircut. Oh yes, I think I remember you posting something to me about yes, 75 plus 40 to choose. Yeah, about making fun of you for that, and I still need to give you a little bit of bullying for that. Not that I condone any bullying, of course. Please don't do that, anyone. So, still a couple of cars up on the jacks for now. Your sweater. I will definitely get a look at that later. So, if you did miss the start of the stream, thank you very much, everyone, for joining us here today. If you have not yet, do go over and check out our affiliate sponsor, who is Asetek Simsport. We have a 5% discount code. Use that in their shop, and you'll be able to get some money off some absolutely wonderful hardware. It's very good gear indeed. I'm not biased, you're biased. Yes, indeed, Mr. Konos. But I'm sure they know that you are wishing them very well indeed. Alright. Everyone should be finishing off now their final changes. A couple of flashes from the drivers. Hello, everyone. And it looks like most, if not all, drivers now dropped off the jacks and ready to go. 40 seconds. Nordschleife, exactly. This is going to be a insanely difficult afternoon for these guys. Made slightly easier by the fact that it is going to at least start dry. Imagine after all this practice in the wet, we get a 2 dry races in one day. What are the chances? And there we go. We are now about to see everyone get underway. You'll see Ferlinski leads us off at the moment. This is the important time where everyone has to get their tires and brakes up to temperature as best they can before the start of the event. You don't want to be starting off here with cold brakes and tires. And as the drivers now on their limiters come up towards the line, Voller on the inside of Ferlinski, who's going to make it to turn 1 first. Here we go, green light, and we do get underway. Absolutely brilliant start from Sinead. Voller, not the best start in the world. Let's go for a bit of helicam, see what's going on. But Voller down the inside, under braking on Ferlinski. Jan going a little wide, is going to get pushed wide then by McCann. So Voller leading this race ahead of Ferlinski. McCann into P4, Lotscombe in P5. Flynn all the way up. Timing screens doing throwing a bit of a wobbler. We will get right back to you with that. But let's go back a little bit, see what's going on here. Go TV2. So Tichus, I think, already having made up a position. There is someone down the back who has lost touch with the back of the field there for now. Darkness getting overtaken by Tichus, makes contact with Tichus, and looks like Darkness came off the worst there. And car number 9 able to continue on. So doing okay. So up to P9 so far for car number 9. So a good start to this race. Spinner up to P10 under pressure from car number 3. And now this is where the fun begins as we see a coin go flying. Spinner onto the grass a little. It's going to steal a little bit of momentum, but because the next corner is left-hander, he is able to hold on to it. He's got a little bit of damage on the rear of that car, which is hopefully not going to affect him too much. But as we come on to the actual Nordschleife now, we have Ferlinski right behind Voller. Oh, Sinead! Getting a little bit sideways there. Not quite sure what happened. It looked like potentially just a little bit too much trail braking and sent the rear of the car spinning out sideways, but he's regained control. He's 1.3 seconds off the lead now, though. And McCann has been allowed to close up a little. Flynn doing an absolutely bang-up job up in P5 right now. On the tail of Jan. Reyes down to P12. Looks like Reyes has a little bit of damage. Fuller now getting past as well. Yeah, it looks like Ruiz is probably just going to pull over and go to the pits, I imagine. If their car is seriously damaged, that is probably the best bet. Yes, they do go to the pits. Webby up to P7 right now, following behind the Audi. There's an interesting little battle here between the Audi and two McLarens. And car number 9 right on the back of car number 13. Interesting, the amount of confidence and pace that Tichus has in this car on this circuit with such little practice. Didn't even put in a quali lap. So his flying here doing really well with such little practice. It's incredible to see. As we come through the forest, let's just take a little look at some helicam. Oh, just going to try and make it around the outside. That's very tricky to make it around there. This is a very narrow circuit, as we mentioned before, and it's extremely difficult to make a move anywhere. Which our man Ferlinski is finding out right now, stuck behind Voller. Ooh, Tichus almost making contact with the back of Webby, but avoiding it thankfully. But Tichus gets down the inside. And then powers on towards Lotscombe in front in the Audi. So Webby's going to have to settle for P8 right now. We'll go on board then with our man Ferlinski. This is what it looks like from the bonnet of that car, how close we are to that Lamborghini in front. We just can't quite seem to get out in front right now. A lot of oversteer on that McLaren. Down into the carousel. Beautifully taken by both drivers. And Tichus looking like he's going to try and make some moves here. That Audi also looking a little bit leery on exits. She's clearly the quicker driver. She's going to send it down the inside on the Audi here. I think is that YouTube corner. Good old, wonderful YouTube corner. That's something that Tichus might want to post on YouTube. That was a beautiful move down the inside of the Audi. That gives him P6. And he can now start chasing down Flynn, who has lost touch with Jan ahead a little. So far is 4.5 seconds behind. Ooh, Audi touching the wall. Hopefully not too much damage, but Webby kind of hanging in there and looking to pounce as soon as a mistake is made. And and Spinner also then putting pressure on the McLaren driver ahead. Oh, and already Mr. Tachus getting past Flynn beautifully. Let's switch to Helicamp from an absolute mile back. Into the mini carousel. Tachus just says, all right, if you're not going to carry the speed through it, I will. And I will get the overtake done. Beautiful move there from the McLaren man. And now he gets to go on and take P5. And Ferlinski, so does have the fastest lap, but technically only because Volder invalidated that lap at some point. Oh, bye-bye cones. I put those cones out specifically so that you know not to go there, but okay. So, Voller and Ferlinski, this could be a battle that will go on for a while. Still no rain within the next 30 minutes. So, at the very least, 40 minutes of this race is going to be dry. We are only 10 minutes in. Sinead just struggling with the rear of that car a little. Dips a little bit of a toe into the gravel, but that's fine. Down into the chicane. It's the faster version of that chicane that is used for these cars. And back on to the Nordschleife. 0.6 is all that separates these two guys at the moment. Webby also has now caught back up to the rear of Lotscombe ahead in the Audi. Webby, a particular fan of driving the Audi, but has opted for McLaren this season. From a team perspective, these two guys are absolutely demolishing the competition. They have gained so many points at the first half of this season so far. I don't see it at all possible for anyone to stop them. Spinner also doing a good job here to catch back up to the rear of Webby. Looks like he's a little bit quicker than the cars ahead. And everyone is catching Flynn, who is dropping back behind Crenshaw Blinn. Oh, he almost missed. Verlinski right on the bumper. The gap is 0 at times between these two guys. He's going to send it. Not quite. Down in the carousel. So important to get the car hooked in there nicely, so it carries as much speed as possible around the inside. Well, funny, I think when Formula 1 cars do demo runs here, they don't actually go down into that part of the track. It's actually faster to go up around the outside. Hello, welcome. Oh, brilliant! Glad to see you here. Thank you very much for joining. Hopefully you're enjoying the stream so far. We've got an incredible battle here lining up. We've got 2 cars fighting for the win of this race. And we have got 4 cars fighting all here for P6. So all of these guys all right in each other's tail, looking to get past. Question is, who's going to make the move first, and is Mav going to actually figure out who it is and capture it on stream? That's going to be the tricky part. And now the question is, there is 15 minutes done in this race, 44 to go, and as the drivers come up to an approach... Oh, Voller! Oh, Voller absolutely gifting first place to Verlinski, making a mistake as the car comes up over the rise. Just catching a little bit of oversteer. And unfortunately... losing quite a bit of time there, 7.6 seconds, so it is unfortunately, these guys, this is going to be tight. Spinner around the outside of Webby. Is he going to make that stick? Camera, please. No, he doesn't. Webby closes that down. He doesn't want to lose position here and end up stuck behind this train for any longer than he needs to. Great. Fan of the Puget. We will get over to car number 3 in a moment, hopefully, once we see how this goes. Oh, that is interesting. Let's just take a look at that again. Flynn. I wonder, is he really struggling with straight line speed, or did he slow down? Or did he not just get a run off the corner? That's interesting. That's quite a bit of top speed he's lost there. Spinner past Webby, as we saw there, with Webby bumping up onto the grass a touch. So Flynn relegated then down to P9 for now. Lotscombe, Spinner and Webb still to battle this out for P6. Also, car number 9 to choose, rapidly closing in here on Jan. Jan's been holding down P4 for quite a while here at the moment. And on that note, that also means that car number 3 Ooh, interesting. We'll get back to car number 3 in a moment. Car number 96 and 970 both have decided to box now. Are they the actual mandatory pit stops? Are they going to have then served their pit stop? And oh, that's early doors though. It's 41 minutes they would have to go in their final stint. And if there is any kind of weather change, now it would only be the last 10 minutes at this point if there was a change. But if there's a weather change, they could be caught out by that. But car number 3, currently in P10. So that is a good chunk of points for the McLaren. Also, quickly chasing down car number 25 in front. Little bit of damage on that McLaren at the moment, which is going to be rather difficult to manage. But we'll see what happens after the pit stops, if they do decide to repair it or not. If it's only a little bit of aero damage, they may very well decide not to. It can be a little bit more beneficial. B Fuller then back out on track, number 970, out there in P12, having completed a pit stop. Yeah. Great. The fastest lap at the minute is an 8:19.057. That was set on the last lap by Mr. Ferlinski. That may very well improve because for a lot of that lap he was behind Voller. So he may improve on that this lap now that he is in clear air. Mr. Spinner and Mr. Webby having a bit of a ding-dong battle here. So Spinner coming up over the rise. What happens? It looks like he's probably going to have a bit of a mistake. Oh, he catches the Audi a little bit faster than expected. Yep, a little bit of a flash from Spinner there, who's lost a lot of momentum and therefore loses position then to Webby as a result. So Mr. Spinner not happy at all with that situation. And he's now going to put a little bit of pressure back on Webby. Webby's going to want to try and get ahead of the Audi at the earliest possible chance he can here. But let's look more closely at this particular one. Tchus and Jan battling for P4. Tchus slowly been working his way forward towards Jan. Jan with a little bit of a touch on the grass there that'll steal a little bit of momentum. Can Tchus use it? He is going to pull alongside. He is going to get ahead of the Lamborghini. Is he going to hold it through this section? He is. Wow, absolutely beautiful move there from Tchus, making his way up into P4, 27.9 seconds off the lead of this race, about 10 seconds to the next driver. So Tchus, if he keeps driving like this, he may very well be able to get himself into podium positions. He probably needs to be a little quicker to get in, to get up behind Zed McCann. But this is Nordschleife. Anything can happen here. And Jan's going to have to settle in now. Swap back to Webby, Spinner, and the ID Lotskim in car number 777. Down into the mini carousel. Or that's actually the proper carousel. Never mind me. Yes, mandatory pit stops are still a thing. Exactly the same rule as well. I thought they should show up on the left-hand side, but they aren't. Unless I've pressed a button or something inadvertently. And then go faster, Sinead. Yes, exactly. Very speedy, yes indeed. Sinead especially, he was able to get into the 8:15s there this morning in race conditions. So definitely there's a bit of pace left in there in that McLaren. But what about this McLaren? That's the one we want to know about for now. At the moment, should be doing 14:15s on 30-minute stints. Yeah, exactly. I assume the reason why it's a 19 at the minute is just because Webby tried to go for a move, but Lotskim shuts that down. There's a yellow flag ahead. Who is the yellow flag for? It's for Darkness, the car number 724, keeping it off the racing line, thankfully. And everyone passed okay. Do you mean just in Assetto Corsa Competizione? So this game with the GT3s, or do you mean in Assetto Corsa, you know, where there's all kind of different classes and stuff? I am happy to talk about both, but there is slight differences between the two. Spinner really putting a lot of pressure now on Webby ahead. Now onto the main straight. Full throttle everywhere. Someone in front just push, yeah. That's the Usaby way. I wonder, is there going to be a bit of bump drafting here, or is... can Spinner even get close enough? Oh, this could come down to just who revs out first. Oh no! Lotskim making contact with Spinner! No! That's going to let Webby away with that. Completely scot-free. I think that probably was... Yeah, Lotskim just came across the track a little bit too quick. Spinner was there in the slipstream of Webby, was fully entitled to be there. And unfortunately, yeah, that contact then means that Spinner is down 4 seconds behind Webby now when he was pressuring him. And Voller now has jumped in the pits down to P8 at the moment. But obviously, when everyone else pits, that will very much change. So, let's see. So, yeah, oof, that was a spicy minute or two. So while I've got a moment, yeah, JTK, if you could just clarify for me, do you mean how the racing works today, or do you mean in normal Assetto Corsa game? Because this Assetto Corsa Competizione is a slightly different game. If I assume you're asking for how the racing will work with car number 3. Just as I say, the rules are slightly different. Almost halfway through this race, got a bit of a yellow flag. JTK has actually the name of J to Puget on F1. Ah, okay. No problem. So that's why you're an F1 fan of JTK. I get it now. I get it now. Superb. Apologies if I'm absolutely butchering that name, by the way. Puget? Puget? Apologies. It's the first time I've seen that name. I will have to ask later. But car number 3 is in the pits at the moment. Currently serving a pit stop. Is now back underway. Still in P11. Yeah, so it's not overly different to Formula 1. Yeah, no worries, no worries. It's basically fastest person wins. If you get across the line first, then you win and get the most points, which is just how motor racing works. As for the particular details how these classes work, is everyone is driving a GT3 car, which is all balanced for engine power and different aerodynamic characteristics, so that everyone should have approximately the same lap time. If they all drove exactly or if the same person drove all cars. So it's nice and balanced, even though all of the cars look slightly different. But the idea is that these guys drive around, trying to drive as fast as possible around legendary tracks like this, the Nordschleife. There is one mandatory pit stop in the middle of the race. You must go into the pits and put 1 liter of fuel in your car. That just gives a little bit of strategy for everyone, so that you have to think about when you want to do a pit stop, which then the other person might pit at a different time, and they might do what's called an undercut or an overcut. That's where you either pit earlier than someone as an undercut, later is an overcut. That just gives you a little bit of time where you have no one in front of you. Maybe you can do some faster laps, and then you beat the other person in a strategic way. So that is the reason for that. If you have any other questions, don't forget to put them in the chat there, and I will explain as best I can. These races usually run for 1 hour, but the season finale is a 2-hour endurance, just for that extra little bit of fun and an extra little bit of test of the driver's skill. I think actually we have seen a retirement somewhere. Mr. Spinner now has got right back onto the bumper of Webby. Let's just take a look at if we can see who has served pit stops or not. I'm sure I've pressed a button somewhere I shouldn't have done. So at the moment, Voller, I think, is the lead driver that has stopped so far, and is 11 seconds behind Crossland. Interesting how close here the Ferrari can get, and then just seems to drop off a little bit in different sections of the track. We find that Sector 3 just feels like it's a bit more technical. Thankfully, Spinner keeping out of the wall there, but he is going to, yeah, that is the wrong account. Phoenix Sim Sport is not finishing the race. Thank you very much. So, I wonder who that was. But anyway, Mr. Spinner doing a good job here. He's going to start applying pressure to Webby. 0.2 of a second. Send it down the inside. No, he doesn't back out of that move. Yeah, I thought it was you. So what you're saying is I was able to traditions, exactly. Ooh, Spinner again up onto the grass, kicking up a ton of dust. So what you're saying is, Darkness, I was able to do more laps than you were. Great. Superb. I'm happy with that. 26 minutes left in this race. Driver's got to be thinking about boxing soon, and it is going to stay dry the entire race. That's interesting. Not even a risk of rain at any point during the race. We've got a yellow flag. What's that for? It's for car number 30 towards the start of the Nordschleife sections. F. Ruiz. Be having a little bit of an issue. Yeah, great. We'd love to see you around more often. Maybe even you'll become a fan with, you know, some other drivers as well, some of our regulars. But hopefully, yes, Puget keeps driving as well. We hope to see them around a little bit more. Oh, excellent. So Ivanov and Tachus now in the pits. Webby and Spinner both in the pits at the same time as well. Is Flynn going to also box? He decides to continue. So, interestingly, Flynn is going to take the lead of this little pack for now. He's, I assume, overfueled quite a lot to enable him to go that little bit extra longer. And Voller comes back out ahead of Jan, then still sitting in the pits. Ooh, actually, Voller has lost a lot of time then in the massive overcut that car number 9, Mr. Chachus here, has done. Or did Voller do a lot of repairs or something? This is going to be interesting. Either way, car number 9 has himself in the possible battle for the podium here today. If he hasn't got it already, he might have already massively undercut Zen McCann, who I think also needs to stop. Let's just check. Yeah, McCann, Flynn, and Ferlinski all still need to stop. So that's interesting stuff. It's going to take a little moment for car number 9's tires to get up to temperature, so we may very well lose a little bit of time here as the car gets up to temperature and pressure. But once he gets on it, he might start actually pulling Voller in and be able to battle for P2. As I say, unless something has happened which has caused Voller to lose a lot of time, and so McCann's going to come out ahead. There's only one way to know. Ooh. Tachus getting a little bit too much on the curb there. Thank you very much for the info, Lord Helmchen. So, yeah, unfortunate. That must be then what cost that amount of time. So it probably is then McCann. Yeah, they've got enough of a gap there to be able to come out still in P2. So if Tachus wants to be able to get a podium today, He's going to need to push and overtake Voller. If Voller wants to hold on to the podium, he needs to stay ahead of Mr. Tachus. Interesting stuff. Lotscombe making a past B Fuller, who is in the pits. Lotscombe back up to P10 then. And looks like that Audi almost is fully repaired. Or it was maybe a little bit damaged once again. It's very easy to do around here. And Mr. Viper then comes across the line as well up into P11. So car number 86 in P11 at the moment. So just for finishing the race here today, there's going to be an awful lot of points on the board. Mr. Crossland up into P9, having a good day here today. Mr. Webby probably would have liked to be a little bit further forward. Let's just take a look. Everyone around him has boxed, so I don't suspect there's going to be anyone he'll gain position on from a pit perspective. So P8 may be a little bit disappointing today, but he's had quite a few battles at least, so it will have been a bit of a fun day. And as we get to 20 minutes to go in this race, funny, some people are going to be boxing and then only really having one lap to go for the rest of this race. It's going to be interesting how that gets handled. Three seconds from Tachus to Voller ahead at the moment, so it's taken a little bit of time for this car to really get into the swing of things, or Tachus won't really have the pace to be able to catch Voller. So, ooh, and a little moment of oversteer there. Let's go on board with Voller, see how they're getting on. Currently, he's catching up to Flynn ahead. Flynn could be a bit of a spanner in the works here. Because this is the battle for position, but Flynn does need to box yet. So Flynn doesn't have to jump out of the way. So however this goes could very well play into how the battle for P3 goes. Voller definitely getting held up now by the BMW. He's getting impatient, wants to get ahead, but almost makes contact with the BM in trying to do so. And Tachus has rapidly caught back up, so this now has turned into a really interesting battle. Zed McCann is in the pits, serving his pit stop. And now this is going to be very interesting. Tachus pulling out alongside, essentially boxing in Voller, but Voller pulls ahead because Ooh! That was interesting. Oh, who's gonna... Oh, this is gonna be interesting. Wow, so to choose may very well lead Voller. He does. So Tachus gets past both drivers in the length of that straight. Somehow, usually the Lamborghini is the car that has the best legs on a straight. But Tachus has done it. He's into P3. And Flynn does box from P5 to serve as mandatory pit stop. Tachus might lose position here. He's got the inside, but then it's the outside for turn 2. Still side by side, little bit of bumps. But gets the better exit, but then brakes a little too early. A little bit of a bump there from Voller, who shuts the door. So for now, Voller holding on to P3. Tachus is going to have to settle for P4 at the moment. And let's see where Flynn is. Flynn currently in the pits as Mr. Spinner goes past. Is Webby going to be able to get past as well? Probably likely, as Mr. Flynn only just now drops the car, so Webby back up to P7. So let's just take a look at this fight. This is going to be a spicy old fight. Less than 15 minutes to go here. Ooh! Tachus's car getting a little bit tail happy at the moment. No, to choose. Oh, I wonder what happened there. Let's go back a little bit. We will go. Let's try helicam. He was doing a good job sticking with Voller there, but I suspect this is going to be a little bit of curb induced. Oversteer. Oh, he's just gone a little wide. And that's enough to upset the car. So unfortunately, car number 9 is going to have to try to finish the next 13 minutes with quite a bit of damage on the front of that car. 10.5 seconds now to Voller. So Voller, barring any major upsets, has got that P3 secured. Now the question is, can Jan close in, and how quickly? That is going to be the ultimate question. At the moment, gap down to 5.3 seconds. That will be our closest battle on the track at the moment. Yes, you lie down there. Good boy. Good old Mars just lying in the most inappropriate place. Isn't that right? Yeah. Yeah, thanks for interrupting the stream. Great. And not even adding any views. Although, would more people watch? if we had a Mars stream. Interesting. How to hack Twitch.tv. So, Jan is quickly closing in on to choose. So, this could end up a little bit of a battle towards the end of this race. This is going to be the closest one out there. Just take a look at the overall map. As you can see, it looks like Ferlinski is probably going to come across the line. With just about probably 8 or 9 minutes to go, which may mean that this is the second to last lap. It's all going to depend on when he crosses that line. But actually, does it? Because he still has to serve a pit stop, so he's still got to pit at some point. Probably this lap. It's unlikely he would leave it another lap, I think. Let's go on board here. Not that kind of on board. Yeah, there we go. With Jan, this is what it looks like inside of that Lamborghini. As we sweep through curves of the Nordschleife. And that is how close the car ahead of us is. So, Mr. Tuchus not very far ahead indeed. That damage seriously affecting his ability to drive. Still 9 minutes left to go here. Ferlinski does pit. So depending on when he crosses the line will be whether this is the final lap or not. Might have just cost himself a lot there. Yeah, the car just understeering everywhere. It really does not want to turn. And that has meant that Jan has got much better slingshot onto the main straight. And that does mean that Jan takes P4. And car number 9 then is dropped down to P5 as a result of that damage. Don't worry, I'm not going to kick you. Chill out. Not you, chat. I wouldn't kick you. And, ooh, interesting. Viper has just swapped places with Fuller. Fuller, car number 970. Now into P11. So some good points there for Fuller. juice now that we've got into the GP circuit. You can start to see how much of a struggle it is to keep up with the car in front. 1.4 seconds between him and Jan. Jan probably just going to be able to run away with things now. Flynn is in P8, 6.2 behind Webby. Is going to come across the start-finish straight here in a moment. See Webby just in the distance. Is he going to be able to make any inroads? Not sure, because last lap time included a pit stop. We don't really get very many timing updates very often because of this being the Nordschleife, so it is difficult to be able to tell who's on what pace right now. Let's just take a look at what it looks like to be on board of this Lamborghini. On board with F. Wooler. 9.8 seconds behind the car in front, so it would be difficult to see whereabouts they are on track right now. But we are slowly but surely catching. So Zed McCann certainly does not have P2 tied up just yet. It's currently a 10-second gap, but it's looking like Voller is about 5 seconds a lap quicker. So it might come down to who crosses the line when, which is going to be interesting. We have 3.5 minutes left in this particular race. Zed McCann is just basically one corner ahead of Voller. It's not quite closing down quick enough at the moment for it to be a battle for us here. But with 3 minutes to go, it's still certainly not locked up either. Whereabouts is Shanae with 3 minutes left to go? Still half of Sector 3. Where is that? Sector 2, rather. Yeah, still half of Sector 2 to go, rather. So, car number 96 having trouble out there. So, Joe, facing the wrong way, but back underway again. Still getting some good solid points here in P12, so it's worth pressing on towards the end. Despite that car clearly having some mechanical damage, unfortunately. But best to just keep the head down and keep going. Flint may be able to get himself caught up to Webby as well, although that gap is kind of just stabilizing at the minute. it's very, very similar where he's able to just see Webby as he's going up over crests and just disappearing around apexes. But this is going to be really frustrating for him to be able to just see the person in front, but not quite able to reach. But interesting that Voller is considerably closer now, 4.2 seconds. So I wonder, is that a bit of a mistake on Zeb McCann's part? That's quite a lot of time he's lost on this lap. So we could still see a battle for P2. Again, this could come down to when the leader crosses the line. What have we got? 1 minute left to go, and I think our leader probably is going to cross the line in time for us to get another lap. So that might then allow us to see a battle for P2. But let's go on board with our race leader. Yep, 45 seconds as he's coming towards the line, so 40 seconds. But he has got a 40-second lead, so he is going to only cross the line when the countdown is done. Very, very clever from Sinead. So for now, we're going to watch this battle. There's probably not going to be enough. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And Sinead confirms that then he is the 6-time winner, 6 times in a row. The first driver to do so here at Phoenix Sim Sport. What a drive there today. He was the quickest by quite a bit of a margin, but didn't quite have it all his way. But yep, one of those things. Oh, sorry, what do you mean by sad strat? I think basically Sinead's strategy. He was able to just take the safe strategy there today. Yep, interesting. He was able to go just that little bit longer. Not quite sure what you mean by sad strategy. I think that worked quite well. McCann then does take P2. He's been chased down by Voller at the end. That's perfectly fine. If he's got the gap, then there is absolutely no reason to go for the extra lap. There is certainly nothing in the rulebook against it. Because you then just cause yourself to potentially get a mistake on that final lap when you didn't really need to. So, yeah, to choose, absolutely wonderful race there today. 10 positions, unlucky with the crash at the end there, but good job, 10 positions. So brilliant points. Jan locks in that P4 as well. Skipped over Voller, who gets a podium there today. Very, very good result there. So absolutely wonderful stuff. Cheers. I had to see him in the early cup as well. Really, really unfortunate. But you did very well to get all the way up into, potentially a P3 there today. Hey, that's the way things go. But the news today is all about Sinead. 6 times winner, the record holder at the moment. How far can he go? And who's going to be the one to stop him, if anyone else? There's only one way to find out, and that is to join us next week for the next race, which is going to be, again, I should probably know this off by heart by now, but I don't. Imagine being so unbelievably unprepared to have not memorized the track list. Yep, we got to cook that that Instagram post. And yeah, next race is Watkins Glen. Noon. It's dry. It's gonna be an absolute fire race. So please make sure you join us for that. Remember, do go and check out our affiliate, Asetek Sim Sports, and use that 5% discount code if you want to see that again. That's right here. And congratulations to Shanae. What an absolute brilliant drive there today. Very well done. And we will see you all again next time. And I've been Maverick. See you all again soon. Bye.